This is the Ray Carr Show with Rich Spina is here today. Hi, Rich.
Hey, how you doing, Ray?
Rich is a local legend, and he's been around. He's done everything. I've seen pictures of... You posted on Facebook when you were with Love Affair back in 1980 in Jamestown, New York, or Pennsylvania.
Oh, that was my recent one posting, yeah. Throwback Thursday.
Throwback Thursday. Tell me some of the other bands that you played with, Rich.
Well, I mean, that was my start of my career, and that's where I had 3 albums out with. And then after that, I had Richard and the Heartbeats, and we had a regional hit called Somebody Loves You in 1986. And after that, I became the musical director for Gary Lewis and the Playboys, and that lasted like over 18 years. And during that time period, all my heroes became my friends. I worked with, Mitch Ryder, Mark Lindsay, Lou Christie. I can just go on. I'm Billy J. Kramer, another good friend of mine.
I got to meet him.
Billy J. Oh, you have a blast meeting Billy
From
J.
a window.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
And then after that, I started with Peter Noon. I've been with Peter Noon, been his production coordinator, musical director for the last 8 years.
So you go on... You play a lot of the songs that made him famous.
Yeah.
Does that ever get old?
No, and I got to tell you, I've gotten a good lesson in never letting something get old by watching Peter Noon. I feel like the last years, and I thought I knew a lot about entertaining and how to do something, but I think my last 8 years with Peter, I think I've been reschooled on what it's about. I mean, he does Henry VIII with the same energy that he did it in 1965, with arms up and everything. And I'm sitting there going like, I'd like to pray that I could sing a song 50 years later that doesn't even have a second verse with the same enthusiasm and the same energy.
Rich, how does he do it?
I think he loves entertaining, and he knows what entertaining is all about.
And he plays to the crowd and feels the energy from the crowd.
Yeah. Yeah,
and he corrals that in and just takes it and runs with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And verse, same as the verse.
Well, you do a lot of that too, Rich. And this new album that you have out, it's called Melodies and Soliloquies, and it's a very good silly melodies and soliloquies.
Silly melodies
and soliloquies, and there's a number of great songs in here, and the album's good, Rich. I mean, how long did it take you to produce this?
Well, I was doing it in between times off the road, so sometimes it was at 2 and 3 or 4 in the morning. I'd say what I could have done in probably about 3 months took about a year and a half, different times. Well, and of course, it was always my stuff that I set aside. If somebody needed something, I go, yeah, I do that. I'd say, yeah, I do that. Well, then I just push that further aside and further aside.
Well, we're going to play a song from this CD. It's brand new, and it's up on my website, too. So if you want to hear any more of it, we'll play a few songs here. If I Could See the Way You Look at Me. We're going to hear that one right now, and I think this is my personal favorite, Rich.
Oh, thank you.
All right, let's take a listen. All right, great song, Rich. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Tell me a little bit more about how that song came about.
Oh, well, let's see. I was doing a lot of recording for Sonny Geraci at the time, and I'd written the song, and it was one of the songs that Sonny fell in love with and wanted to record on his album. Only that's one of the ones that's really quite different than the way I ended up doing it. This was more. I mean, this isn't my demo, but this was more in the way of my demo was. Sonny eliminated the bridge and dropped the key down, and more sounded like a Sonny Geraci song and stuff. But that's where the song started. It's in other words, that's not like a brand new song. It's just brand new to me right now.
Right.
But I wrote it a long time ago.
You have quite a range in style, Rich. You really do.
Oh, thank you.
And is there anything you haven't recorded that you kind of wanted to dabble with but never actually did? I mean, you ever thought about, I want to do some classical, or I want to do some rap? I don't know.
Well, you want to know what I wanted to do? It's just a matter of getting the guys together where it can be done. Is I miss some of the ways that some songs were done, like in the 70s, where they would have called them album cuts then. Like if you wanted to let it take 2 minutes for the organ to fade in on a song starting, and actually work with some guys and create some songs like that. That's been something I've wanted to do. And, I've also wanted to do a song that would be an album that would be like the way the Carole King's Tapestry album was, where it just feels like it was recorded in a room. It's still one of my all-time favorite, albums. But
I just found the CD on that, and it's got a second CD of previously unreleased.
Oh yeah, all of her demos and stuff. Yeah, it's great.
Unbelievable.
She's unbelievable. Yeah.
She really is. And here's a song that is blazing right now, and it's called Fire.
Oh, Fire. Yeah.
And you were with Mai Pang, right?
I did an interview with Mai Pang, her and Cindy Nielsen's radio show when I first brought the album out.
They say this is the song off the CD that's really getting the airplay.
Oh, that's yes. This is one once getting the airplay for sure.
And I have a wedding Saturday. I'll play it there too.
Oh, great.
So, but let's take a listen. This is Rich, the great Rich Spina, doing Fire. And Rich, where can people get the CD?
Well, you can download it on iTunes or Amazon.com, or you can order it from my website in hard copy form, and that's www.richspina.com.
Let's take a look at Fire. This is really a great song, so I hope you enjoy this.
Me of this burning desire I have for you. You are my heartthrob, you were sent from above. Come take my hand, let's understand the meaning of love. I feel the warmth when you hold me close at night. It's just like the heat from a fire. Found you, we'll never part. It's been me and you right from the start, yeah. It's the beginning of the rest of our lives. I knew you were there somewhere since the beginning of time. I feel the warmth when you hold me close at night. It's just like the heat from a fire. It feels so right tonight.
Beautiful song, Rich. Thank you very much. Fire. This one, is this about a relationship?
Well, I guess so. I mean,
I guess they all would be about a relationship, wouldn't they? Yeah. I guess what I'm trying to say is that a specific relationship.
No, there's songs on this album that could be specific. This one really wasn't the case. In fact, it's one of the very few that I co-wrote with somebody else. Like half the lyrics were written by somebody else, and then I put the melody, the music, the chorus, and all that stuff together. And so no, but it was definitely about the mood of a relationship.
Yes, it feels like you're kind of sitting in front of a nice warm fire on a cold evening, and
that's it. Am
I right?
Crawling in my head right now.
Yeah. I know Rich Spina pretty well. I know how he thinks, and
a little bottle of wine.
It has to be a good, maybe Merlot. Maybe I'm not sure.
Yeah, it has to be red.
Yeah, well, we can do that. Sure.
Okay.
The picture on the inside of the CD kind of reminds me of the Cavern Club of the Beatles.
Oh, you know what? That's pretty cool. I never even thought about that.
Yeah, it does. It reminds me like you're in Hamburg, Germany, or something like that. You have a very lugubrious look on your face. I like it. Silly Melodies and Soliloquies, the name of the CD, Rich Spina, and you can get that at various sources, and you can listen to it if you want. You can't buy it, but you can listen to it on my website, too. So we'll play more of that a little bit later. Rich, some of your other musical influences over the years. You and I are roughly the same age, and we've been through a lot of stuff. We've heard a lot of great music in our lives, but who would you say is the unsung hero of the person that made Rich Spina the person he is today musically?
Oh, wow. We're going to unsung heroes, and I'd have to go back to the Ink Spots, but...
Really?
But, I mean,
Wow.
I'd sit there and, like...
Ink Spots?
Of course, the Beatles, and, of course, the Raspberries. And,
How about the choir?
The choir, but I mean, I only really knew the choir of the one song, whereas the Raspberries was the same thing. I was buying the albums. But I think like the Beatles are the only ones I have on album, cassette, CD, that thing. Led Zeppelin, the Four Seasons,
Yes.
Carole King, as we talked about, before. Queen. I mean, if I was sitting ones that like shaped me, where I just had to like sit there and listen to the records and listen over and over again.
Right.
Harry Chapin, believe it or not, is another
Sure, Harry,
unsung hero and stuff.
Well, let's play. Let's spin a hot tune from one of your unsung heroes, the Ink Spots. We're going to go way back. This one, Rich, if I'm not mistaken, it's like 1942. Well before our time, but it's still a song that we appreciate. We really, really enjoy it. It's called Java Jive.
Oh, yeah.
I love coffee, I love tea, I love the Java Jive and it loves me. Coffee and tea and the Java and me. A cup, boy. I love Java, sweet and hot. Whoops, Mr. Motorama coffee pot. Shoot me the pot, now pour me a shot. A cup. Oh, slip me a slug from the wonderful mug. I'll cut a rug till I'm stuck in the jug. A slice of onion and a raw one. Draw one. Waiter, percolator. I love coffee, I love tea. I love the Java Jive and it loves me. Coffee and tea and the Java and me. A cup. Ooh, Boston beans, soy beans, green beans, cabbage and greens. I'm not keen upon a bean unless it is the cherry bean, boy. I tea. I love the jabber jive and it loves me. Coffee and the tea and the jabber and me. A cup, yeah. I love jabber, sweet and hot. Whoops, Mr. Moto, I'm a coffee pot. Shoot me the pot, not for me a shot. A cup, yeah. Oh, throw me that slug from the wonderful mug. I'll cut a rug till I'm snug in the jug. Drop a nickel in the pot, Joe. I take 'em a slow. Waiter, percolator. I love coffee, I love tea. I love the jabber jive and it loves me. Coffee and tea and the jabber and me. Yeah. A cup.
Yeah. All right.
Ink spots, all right.
It could have been 1939. I'm not sure exactly the year. I think it was either 39 or 42. But anyway, it was in that particular era. What is it about that music that really drew, I mean, that just encapsulated greatness to you?
You know, I don't know. My dad, I was a young kid. My dad would be playing those records when he'd be doing work around the house, and that was one of them that I just loved. And, you know, I still think they were the predecessors of the Four Seasons and the Drifters, sure. that kind of thing, you know, with the high singer and then the talking and, you know,
right.
that kind of thing.
The Mills Brothers were good, too.
Yeah, Mills Brothers are great.
I really enjoy that. Where will you be performing, Rich?
Well, I'm off the road for the next 3 weeks, so I am performing around town. This Saturday, it's for Don Kruger, remember the drummer extraordinaire, played on with Eric Carmen and Boku and all that. It's his 60th birthday party at Stampers. He and I are playing.
In Fairview Park.
Yeah, he and I are playing, and then a bunch of musician friends are going to be getting up and performing. Day after that, I'm doing my piano bar at the Ferris Steakhouse in Rocky River. And,
that'll be on Sunday the 19th.
Yeah. And then next week, because this is all before I go back on the road again, Billy Sullivan and I are doing a Spina and Sullivan reunion at Bar 107 in Berea on Wednesday. And the Cover Girls, who we also played with, and gathered also is Jennifer Lee from Michael Stanley and Debbie Lewin. And we're doing a reunion show at the Roxino on Thursday at the in the cafe.
And I'll be at the 26th. I'll be the MC.
26th, the benefit memorial jam for Tim Lehman. Yeah.
All right. I didn't realize that, but I will be there for that. So I'll be the MC.
And I'll try to have some surprises for you there.
I hope so, Rich, because I'm looking forward to that.
It says Java Jive 1940.
Was it 1940? Okay.
Yep.
Rich, I found a record here I thought you'd find very interesting. I was able to procure this, and it's a 1966 Volkswagen commercial. Let's take a listen. Let's see if this is going to work for us here.
Volkswagen, except the quality's even better than before. In 66, the Volkswagen gives you more.
Well, that was quick. I think we'll do another one. You ready? This sort of headphones on, yeah.
Okay, I wasn't plugged in. Hang on.
All right, well, that's okay. You'll be plugged in shortly. All right. You ready for another one?
Yes.
All right, well, it's coming up here. You're listening to WCSB in Cleveland. It's 8 o'clock. We'll have the news, which is going to be very important because we need the news. See, without the news, there wouldn't be the Ray Carr Show, would it?
No,
really wouldn't.
It wouldn't.
So eventually, we're going to get to this next cut here.
That's the longest pause I've ever seen.
I know,
on an
isn't
LP.
it? It's unbelievable. Here, I'll tell you what we'll do. We're going to go right to the front of the record here.
There we go.
Yeah. There's never dead air with me.
So which one is this?
I don't know. We're just going to play it and see what happens. I usually don't do this.
Moving ahead in the Lincoln
Mercury.
Continental tradition, Mercury 466.
What was your first car, Rich?
My first car was a 66 Chevy Malibu station wagon.
The 66 was the right year.
And that was really the car that I was allowed to drive for a year from my parents. The first one I bought, I loved. It was my 67 Cougar. I used to call it my 67 Mercury rock and roll hoochie cougar.
Where did you go to high school?
Mid-Park High School.
You were a meteor, okay.
Yes.
All right. I won't ask the year because I know you're like 38.
Oh, I don't care. I was graduated in 73.
73?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that was a golden era of rock and roll, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you know, I Want to Be With You and Go All the Way. And
I graduated in 74.
Cindy was Brush High School. I was Lakewood High School.
Lakewood High School.
I was 81.
I know you're a youngster there.
Youngster, yeah. I just started shaving. Well, before we get to the news,
It's the beauty about being a baby boomer.
Yes.
River is just denial is just a river in Egypt for us. We just keep moving middle age whenever we decide.
I like that.
Very clever, very clever.
Hi, we're Love Affair. I'm John. I'm Rich. And your mama says to listen to the Ray Carr Show on WCSB Cleveland.
Thank you, Rich. That was a nice promo you did.
Hey, thank you. I remember that now.
Do you? All right.
Yeah, I remember doing that.
That's a lot of fun. I just wanted to reiterate, on October 26th, which is a Sunday afternoon, we're going to be at Ace's Bar, right?
Yes.
And
yes.
that's located where?
That's located in Southland Shopping Center in Middleburg Heights, Ohio.
Okay, what are we going to be doing that day? Just to remind me.
It's going to be the Tim Lehman Memorial and Benefit Jam. A dear friend of mine, Tim Lehman, who I produced him and the late Jim Gerard. They were a songwriting team, and I was part member of their project called Monkey Island. We had just brought out his the new record, and in May, along with the same time mine was released. And he passed away last month.
That's very sad.
Yeah.
It's very sad. But I'll be there on the 26th, so I'll be able to see you guys again and hopefully have some fun.
That'd be nice.
It would be. The new CD we've been playing this morning, Rich Spina, Silly Melodies and Soliloquies, which is a tough word. What gave you the idea for the name of the CD?
Well, actually, it's a line in the song Heaven Is Your Name, which is on the album. And two different times I had mentioned that line, and this was like at 4 or 5 months apart. My girlfriend said, that sounds like an album, the name of an album. And I said, okay, that's going to be that, because she's great at those kinds of lines and stuff like that. She's an entertainer herself and stuff. And so I said, okay, that's going to be the name of the album. Plus, it kind of fits, like, in other words, I like to poke a little fun at myself, so the title seemed to be perfect for the album.
Yeah, and there's one that we are going to not play this time, but we'll do Things I Want to Do.
Oh, that's my dad's favorite song.
Is it really?
Yeah, that's why I made sure I still put it on the record.
Things I Want to Do. And I'm sure that, when you hear the song, you're going to understand what it's all about.
Some people will.
Some. Rich, we'll close the interview with this one. Heaven Is Your Name. We'll play that one, okay?
Okay.
Rich, thanks for being here.
Ray, thanks for having me on.
All right, we'll obviously be in touch. We'll see each other on the 26th. So, Anyway, here we go.
My piano, and I tapped on all the keys, trying to find that special melody of how much you mean to me. But I'd have to write a symphony to show the things in me you've touched, and I need a full-bass orchestra to show you just how much. So I grabbed my pen and paper, and I tried to word a song, but it'd take Webster's complete, and that would be too long. Then a melancholy melody slipped from my fingertips, and these simple words that mean so much flowed out from my lips. I love you, I need you, there's so much I wanna say, 'cause you're So listen one more time. I love you. I need you. There's so much I have to say. You're everything to me. In heaven is your name. You're everything to me. In heaven is your name.
Thank you. Before we let Rich go, Rich had a good question I wanted to say for the air. Go ahead, Rich.
Well, and knowing your age, what brought you to this era of music where it was your favorite era? I mean, I know with me, I was just growing up at that time.
Yeah.
and
That's a very good question, Rich, and I will answer it this way. The Beatles and Petula Clark were my two favorites, and I just gravitated towards that music, and it all started from there. And I figured if Petula Clark did this, and I can learn about Sandy Shaw, Cilla Black, all the other females of that era, the Beatles, the Searchers, Jerry and the Pacemakers, Billy J. Kramer, it all spawned from that. And I just fell in love with the melody, the beat, the words, the whole, it just encapsulated everything I was about. So I really just, ever since then, I just said, this is my music.
that's great. So
Yeah.
next time I'm on, let me interview you.
Go ahead.
That would be
No,
fabulous.
Rich, go ahead. I mean, I've never really been
Really?
interviewed before.
Well, I'd have to like prepare for it. I was
Okay.
just sitting there going, I could have a bunch of questions, but not at the
Oh,
moment.
that would be
Yeah.
great.
This is your
the Ray
life.
Carr interview.
You're more than welcome to do it. I've never really been interviewed
I
before.
would love that.
It'd be great.
Yeah, I don't do. I do preparation for interviews, but a lot of it I just do off the top of my head because I feel that I'm still curious enough to ask a good question.
Yeah.
You have enough information here on the paper, but you can't rely everything that you write. You have to be able to be extemporaneous enough to interject the right question at the right time. And that's hard to do. It's a feel thing.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, I guess, football, where you read and react. You see something happen in front of you, you instinctively know which way to go.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, let's get back to music. Rich, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
You're the best.